What's going on, America? This is Kevin in Kevin's Corner. And, you know, I was not a believer in evolution, okay? I kind of go by the philosophy of if if evolution was real and we came from monkeys, then why are there still monkeys? I mean, what happened to the other monkeys, huh? I mean, they just couldn't get over the hump. Did they stop and just go, you know what? They've evolved and they're just too far ahead. Let them go. We'll just stay here in the woods. Yeah, I would prefer to keep eating lice off of you, climbing trees, grabbing a couple bananas, and screaming for no reason. Yeah, I prefer to do that than become a human and have a higher, form of, consciousness. Because see, that's what separates us from animals, a higher form of consciousness. The ability to look at a situation and do some deductive reasoning to come to the conclusion of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And when we fail to do that, then we're not operating in our higher level of consciousness, right? But after seeing some of the reaction of people from the left, from people in the liberal media, from the Democrats, I've come to the conclusion that evolution does exist. And it's in this form. Conservatives are the next evolutionary step in humanity, okay? See, because when you look at the decisions that some of the liberals make and some of the talking points they use, they can't be in the direction of higher consciousness and evolving into a higher conscious being. They are now where the monkeys were, where they say, you know what? The conservatives are too far gone. Just forget it. Let them go. We'll still keep staying right here where we're at, defending stuff that doesn't make any practical sense, like letting people come across our border and making excuses for them. When we could make a decision to fix it, to stop it, when we could give them a decision to make, even when they're coming towards the wall, if you say, hey, listen, as you're getting close, understand if you try to get through here, we're going to arrest you and take you and your child and separate you. So now, if you're not serious, meaning you're not really claiming asylum, you're going to pay a price. And the price is going to be your kid's going to get separated from you. Okay, we're not going to take the kid, put the kid into slavery, make the kid have cheap child labor and all that stuff. But you're going to get the kid separated from you until we can sort some things out, right? Those are smart things, but when the liberals argue against their own self-interest and safety, they can't be evolving. It is like I look at the thinking of liberals and I say, why is it that they have not evolved to be able to see practical thinking things anymore? Some of them, when they open their mouth, all I hear is, that's what comes out. And I'm going, we've gone away from you now. We're moving on, and you guys can stay where you're at and make all these arguments like, you know what, there's no such thing as a man and a woman. Everybody's just whatever gender they want to be. Y'all can stay and y'all can argue those primitive theories and stuff like that. Whereas people who evolve intellectually, we've known this forever, and I don't even understand how you can entertain this type of stuff. You can go ahead and say, we need to just let anybody come in to our borders because the Democrats and the liberal media has told us that this is inhumane. And instead of coming up with plans to stop it, we're going to just argue it. But yet at the same time, we're real disciplined and structured when it comes to going through the airport or getting into a courtroom. You can't get in there without any documentation. But nonetheless, we're just going to let anybody come into the country without any checks and balances and just assume they mean us well. That is not showing that you're evolving to a higher consciousness. That's showing that you are subject to manipulation and lower thinking. Your first priority should be, we need safety, we need security, we need some things in place that means we are functioning like a sovereign nation. I heard some guy talking to, I forget, it might have been some pundit on TV, and he kept saying things like, the Trump administration are stopping undocumented citizens at the border. And I'm thinking to myself, Lower conscious people. See, I'm, we've evolved. Okay, the conservatives are seeing this and they're going, "What are you talking about?" But people who aren't evolving, they're thinking, "Yeah, this is bad because Trump's stopping him." And I'm going, listen to what the man is saying. He is saying the Trump administration is stopping undocumented citizens at the border and separating them from kids. Now, first things first, he's sliding in the subliminal, telling you that even though these people have never even stepped foot in America, perhaps, he's claiming that they're citizens already. And they just simply are undocumented. And people go right over the head. And I go, you haven't evolved. You're still back there one step, one evolutionary chain above the, and I feel like that sometimes. I feel like we've gone to the next level of evolution. Because conservatives see this stuff and go, what? No, nobody else is seeing this? Nobody else understands this? What are you doing? You gotta get smarter. You gotta think subjectively. You gotta do some reasoning. You can't be easily manipulated by the media and by the Democrats. It's crazy how people are fighting the whole issue of illegal immigration against their own self-interest. It doesn't do anything to secure or better the life of Americans, and it is their choice to come here. And yet people trying to compare it to Nazism and concentration camps and Japanese. And I'm going, if y'all fall for that, we're going to go on without you. We're just going to keep evolving and leave the primitive thinking people behind because there's no way we can drag you along. We're sitting here trying to give it to you and you're arguing stuff that doesn't make sense. So I got to come to the conclusion that we're simply the next chain in the evolutionary process. Didn't want to buy into evolution, but I guess y'all proved finally that it is true when you say stupid stuff like that. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. And my final thought of the evening goes towards Seth Marlin or whatever his name, the guy who does the Family Guy. Now, I happen to think the Family Guy in American Dad is absolutely hilarious. But apparently, he got upset because Donald Trump, it was Tucker Carlson, said that it's safe to assume that when you watch any other news channel besides Fox, they're lying to you. And then he said, this is crazy because what Tucker is doing is basically saying that you can't use any other references. You can't use any type of intellectual investigation. You can't do your research and gather from multiple different sources and come to a conclusion. You got to just shut up and listen to Fox because Fox is the only one that is apparently correct or telling the truth. And he said, and by not looking at all of these other channels, okay, by not looking at these and drawing information from both and all of them, then apparently, you're not intelligent. You're not utilizing your intellect. Well, my message for him is that because I've looked at all those other channels and I'm intelligent, I've come to the conclusion that for the most part, Fox is the only station that's telling the truth. Okay, because I've seen the multiple lies and the hatred from CNN, MSNBC, ABC. You listen to them. Melania Trump is dying, got a face lift. Donald Trump's beating her, keeps her in the closet under the bed. Donald Trump is killing Japanese fish. Donald Trump is calling everybody that comes from Mexico, he's calling them all animals. Donald Trump is worse than Hitler. Donald Trump teams up with Putin and he teams up with Kim Jong-un. Donald Trump is this, he's that, and then you want me to say, maybe they might be telling me the truth. No, they're not telling us the truth. And if anybody has intelligence and get about a 5-minute preview of any of those stations, you'll come to the conclusion that, they're not telling us the truth. And one thing I can say about Fox is that they also recognize patriotism, patriotic stories. They will highlight our first responders. They will highlight the military. They highlight our policemen. They will highlight good gestures in society, American heroes around the nation, just regular people who do acts of kindness. You don't see that on CNN. You know, all you see on CNN is bringing in people like Anna Navarro, shut up, you're just a man baby. Bringing in all kind of people to break down and cry and give all dramatic stories about how horrible life is in America right now and how Donald Trump's going to get us blown up by Kim Jong-un because he's too harsh on him. But yet at the same time, now that he's talking to him, he's giving too much credibility to Kim Jong-un just by having a conversation with him. That's what you hear on those channels. And that's why I stand behind Tucker's statement. Okay, I'm not saying Fox is 100% perfect, but compared to the garbage from the rest of them, it's not even close. And that's my take on it. You've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. And to be real, I joke about evolution. I really don't believe in it. However, that's how liberal logic makes me feel. It makes me feel like they are stuck and that link between us going to a higher being and the monkeys, just right in there. And I'm going, every time you open your mouth and you say something that doesn't make sense, all I hear is doesn't make sense. Anyway, God bless you. Find me on Facebook, Twitter. Check me out on Wednesday nights, 7:30. And also, if you want to support Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. The link's in the bottom. God bless.